Hello, live. Welcome to Filmmaker IQ Live, the stream that is streamiest. Streaming here on a Sunday here. Oh my gosh, this last week has been insane. Like it's been rough. It's been 13 viewers. All right, we're happening right now. So last week was obviously July 4th, and I was out in the sun baking like insane, trying to shoot one of the cities I work for. They do. They did this. They had a publicity stunt where they got the world's largest rubber duck, and they had me filming a bunch of stuff with the world's largest rubber duck. So I was involved with a lot of advertising it and capturing elements of it, and a lot of duckiness, a lot of duckiness. So I was out in the sun. They called me way too early to show up at 4 o'clock when nobody was there. Sit around in the heat, and then finally festivities start getting going about 6 or 7-ish. So it's like I was just so burned out, from the last few days. And then last night, I decided, what the hell, I'm going to go see a movie. And I just picked a movie that didn't look like, I already saw Inside Out 2, and I didn't want to see Despicable Me because I just have no background. I've never seen a Despicable Me movie, and I've never seen a movie with Minions. So I'm like, well, there's no reason why I should jump into number 4. It makes no sense. And every other movie was not particularly interesting. And so I saw the movie called Fly Me to the Moon, which, if you've been on Tinder, like literally they advertise the hell out of that on Tinder. Like you're swiping on your Tinder, and all of a sudden here's Channing Tatum. You're like, I don't think I should swipe right on Channing Tatum. But they're advertising, at least to me, maybe because they said, hey, John, you're a nerd. You're above 40 years old. You are going to like a movie about rocket ships because they symbolize a thing. Anyhow. So I went to see the movie Fly Me to the Moon. Now, if you haven't seen any trailer, like I didn't watch any trailers. All I know about it was from the ads, and it's probably something about the moon. It's about faking the moon landing and all that. So what the story is this girl named Scarlett Johansson. No, her name isn't really Scarlett Johansson. Her name, whatever her name is, Scarlett Johansson plays like a PR girl, and she's kind of like a no nonsense. I'm going to tell lies and make sure I can get, whatever it can do to get it right, get it across, win the contract, sell my product, right? So she's in the process of like just being gangbusters on Madison Avenue. And this one FBI agent played by what's his face from Cheers, Woody Harrelson, shows up and's like, okay, we need your help because NASA's having trouble. We're not doing great in the space race. We need your PR to like make things really like sell on or get, we need you to like sell the idea of going to the moon to the public. And so she comes on board. She ruffles the feathers. Channing Tatum plays the flight director, which, gotta admit, is an interesting choice for the flight director because, I mean, I guess in a way he's supposed to play like an ex-astronaut kind of thing. The guy is so beefy and like good looking, but also, I don't know, Channing Tatum has a little bit of a dumb look to him. I don't know. I just think, I look at him, I don't think like that's a guy that could come up with a way to fly to get us to the moon. I just don't see, he's got a little bit of that bro look to him. He doesn't look that smart. Anyhow, so she's trying to get everybody to like get all on board with NASA. Everybody loves Raymond's in it too. Raymond Romano is in it as like the second guy. Basically, what happens then is Woody Harrelson's like, well, just in case it doesn't happen the way it should, I want you to build a second project, like a fake moon landing on the same grounds at Cape Canaveral, right next to it, and then in case, like, shit goes down on the way to the moon, we have this backup plan to shoot, top secret. No one can know about this thing. So that's the way they get around the whole idea of the moon conspiracy, is to say that, they had a second fake one just in case, The real one doesn't go off as planned, and it's super secret, but we're going to keep it the same place that the real moon landing is going on, right? And so what happens though, what's funny about that is as I'm watching the movie and how like it's supposed to be super secret, this moon landing, this fake moon landing thing is, and yet when they shoot it, they're like talking about, when they're working on it, they have the doors open so that there's outside light coming in. I don't know. That's just kind of silly. And I know it's for production value. It's one of those things where it just looks better with the moon. Anyhow, that's the story without going too much into spoiler territory. If you are wanting to see it, I believe it's respectful of the project because I'm a very staunch. If you believe the moon landing is fake, you're an idiot kind of thing. I don't. Every proof that is being put forward by people that say the moon landing is fake are like they rely on photographic evidence, which basically just shows me that these people do not know anything about photography. Like every moon landing hoax people that bring up photography, like literally do not understand how photography works, and it's for me it's extraordinarily frustrating when talking about it. So I'm obviously allergic to like moon hoaxes. This is not a movie that is moon hoaxy. It is, I think, the opposite. It's much more respectful of the moon landing and all that. Capricorn 1 is about faking the moon landing. I haven't even heard of that movie. Have you seen the new F1 teaser trailer? Same director from Top Gun. Looks well filmed. There you go. F1 teaser. Oh, cool. A movie about Days of Thunder, Part 2. Part 2. All right, comments are... Come on in, say hi. The comments are kind of low here. Well, I think YouTube doesn't like my streams because it's starting to get lower. But then again, maybe my streams have just been very uninteresting. So anyhow, what did I think of the movie Fly Me to the Moon? Very enjoyable. Like the movie is like a classic Hollywood movie that it's like all these familiar faces. You got Scarlett Johansson looking her absolute best, honestly. She keeps her clothes on. Why did I say something terrible like that? But she looks gorgeous. She absolutely looks beautiful in this movie. This is like classic Scarlett Johansson beauty. Like just every frame is just dripping with her in it. It's just dripping beauty. She's just gorgeous in this movie. Like absolutely gorgeous. Channing Tatum is Channing Tatum. I don't really care. I like Ray Romano. I just like Ray Romano. He just exudes this like everyday dad. Like, he's just he kind of floats. He kind of just settles into the movie. You don't feel like it's a star. Like, oh, there's a movie star. Ray Romano is so easy. Like he fits in the movie so easily. Woody Harrelson is fantastic. Woody Harrelson's just so good at playing slime ball characters. Like he's got a knack for it, and he does it really well in this movie. I'm trying to think other major stars that are in this one. Can't remember any. I think those are the major name stars, and everyone else is serviceable. The plot is a little goofy in that, like, I think the technology of trying to get something on the board, a rocket ship at the very last minute, is a little bit questionable. Other than that, like the romance is a little bit kind of hokey. I don't know. It's not a great movie, but it's a very enjoyable movie. It's a very this is nice. It's a nice movie. The performances are fun. It's entertaining. It's got some funny jokes in it. I mean, it's a movie that keeps a smile on your face. And what I understand later, I think I looked it up just slightly. I didn't really go to a deep dive on this particular movie. Was that it originally was an Apple production. It was meant for TV. It was meant for Apple streaming services, and they put it in the theaters. And it definitely feels like a streaming movie. It definitely feels like a streaming movie. So, yeah, it's good. It's cute. I'd say wait for it to hit Apple, and then put it on when you got you feel like you're drained, and you just want to watch something that's not terribly like difficult and hard to think about or anything like that, just watch that, and it's yeah. So Derek says Operations Avalanche is another movie about faking the moon landing. So I just want to make one thing clear though: the Fly Me to the Moon is not about faking it. It's about it's a I mean it's a fictional story. It's a fictional story. It's not about faking the moon landing. It's about having an alternative option to fake it, and without going too much, well, no spoiler territory. Like Woody Harrelson wants them to fake it, and the Channing Tatum doesn't want them to fake it. They wants to really show landing on the moon for real. So so it's not like a faking the moon landing. It's more just like it's actually it's a side story. It's a fantasy story. Again, like I said, for being so super secretive, they leave those hangar doors open a lot. I know they try to keep it. Another reason why Scarlett Johansson looks so darn good in this movie is because she produced it. So she looks so freaking good. If you notice that, like, boy, this chat's being weird here. I'm not getting much chat at all here. There we go. There's the other chats. I was looking for why they weren't showing up on my YouTube screen. You know that movie Anyone But You, that Sydney Sweeney vehicle, where she was in that movie? She produced that movie. I didn't realize. I forgot about that. She actually produced that movie, which is why she looks so darn good in that movie. Man, my viewers keep going up and down. Well, I'm not going to worry about the viewership. I'm just going to get on stream and talk. And you guys can ask me anything you want. So, other delights. Let's talk about Bridgerton. I'm updating on my Bridgerton thing. So I got a very, very crass take on Bridgerton. Because I think the last time I talked about Bridgerton, I had watched up to like halfway through the first season. Now I have completely finished the first season, and I'm about halfway, almost episode 8 of the second season. So I'm starting to drill my way through it. I love this. Junberg film, Sydney Sweeney, swing. I should just replace my thumbnail with a picture of Sydney Sweeney. I feel like if I wanted some YouTube success, I should put a picture of Sydney Sweeney and then maybe something about the Acolyte. And then that way, I wouldn't even have to talk about either of them. That way I'd get a bunch of horny dudes just clicking on my on the thing, right? Like, I get it. I totally agree. Like, I totally agree that Sydney Sweeney is very, very hot. I am so on board with that line of thinking. I am so agreeable to that. It's just so weird, though, that like a lot of the internet's fascination has been about Sydney Sweeney's stuff. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just kind of commenting that yes, I do think Sydney Sweeney is very, very hot. Just like I am, starting to burn up a little bit because these lights are starting to get me warm. All right, so will you indulge me in my very crass take on Bridgerton? The girl that suggested it to me that I was trying to get a relationship with, like, backed out, said she didn't have time for me. I wonder if she might have saw my stream when I was talking about the account for comment was talking about the naked men traveling across the river, getting pubic hair and all, getting poisoned to death. She might have saw that and like got scared away, which I figured, you know what? If you see me making fun of a commenter on YouTube and he scares you away, then I'm totally okay with that. If it's not going to work out long term. Exactly. Junebug says, Sydney Sweeney thought, though, what I like about her, not just for obvious guy reasons, but she's a real strong woman, and she kind of is a throwback to Hollywood. I think women don't understand that men actually do like strong women. Like, I think it's, what can you say? Like, there's guys of all kinds of stripes, right? Some guys like thin girls, some guys like curvy girls, some guys like weak-willed girls, some guys like submissive girls, some guys love a strong, dominant woman. Sydney Sweeney, I think, knows what she is. She knows what she can offer. And, like that movie, Anybody But You, was literally her cashing in big time on knowing what the audience was there for. They got Guy Powell, whatever his name is. And I watched that movie like a few weeks ago, and I thought it was so like, right? I thought it was Glenn Powell, right? Glenn Powell. But the thing is, Sydney Sweeney is like an 11 out of 10. Glenn Powell, and I'm a dude, and Glenn Powell is like an 11 out of 10. Like, it's ridiculously how hot these people are. And then they're like, okay, let's just shoot it in some place that's really like exotic and beautiful looking. So it's like porn without penetration. All right, okay, we're getting that level of crassness. John's going to turn into the Howard Stern show. Oh, I can see my viewership just rising right there as I start talking about this topic. Right, this is what gets you horny dogs off on YouTube. Let's let John talk very, very crass and crudely. Well, maybe that's where filmmaker IQ is going to go. I don't know. I'm tired. Call me old school, but I like a woman to be a strong woman and not afraid to be a woman. I totally agree with you. You are not going to find me any fighting me. Like, I like strong women. I like women that like are bold and will, know what they want. The thing I don't like about women I don't like women that are like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know what I want. Yeah, I just don't know. Oh, there you go. I like that. Sydney Sweeney is a strong woman, but if a guy asks her to make a sandwich, she'll make him a sandwich, or she'll make him a sandwich. I think Sydney Sweeney would. I think if a guy asks Sydney Sweeney to make a sandwich, she'll tell her assistant to get a sandwich for me, and that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Like, I think a strong woman would, if a man asks a strong woman for a sandwich, and the strong woman would say, sure, and then make him a sandwich. And if, because I don't think that shows that it's not a sign of just being submissive or anything. But then she'll say, hey, babe, can you rub my feet? And the strong man will say, oh, absolutely. And then that's the reciprocation process. Hey there, Rigel7. I put my Hollyland Laos to use for the first time. I'm already missing them. I'm already missing the magnet. I know, they're easy to lose, right? So contact Hollyland and ask them for a replacement magnet. They might be able to send you one. Otherwise, legitimately just get any old. Go to the hardware store, get any old magnet. Any old magnet will do. But I legitimately lost one already. Like the first, I agree. Like they sent it to me to review, and I literally lost it in the first day. And now I've been very, very careful with them. Bullet Silence says, good afternoon, evening, John. Hope you're well, fella. I've been better, but I'm doing well. It's too hot. It literally is too hot here. Okay, so back to my Bridgerton talk, because I know it's a room full of guys, right? I'm sure there's not a single woman watching this. Of the 9 people on a stream right now, there's not a single person that does not have a protrusion, right? Okay, see, I can see the views rising up again. Okay, Bridgerton. All right, so if you've seen the ads for Bridgerton, can I just pull up a little thing for Bridgerton here for you? Just so all you men that know, all you men that are out there can see like a little sense of the. I'm trying to find a good photo that would represent what Bridgerton means. There, I'll just so you can see all the photos. Why not? So we're coming over here. Going to my desktop here. So this is Bridgerton, right? It is very proper, a British show. And the voice of Julie Andrews is the narrator, in a sense. Julie Andrews and the Duchess and the Duke are now to be wed. It is the season of all seasons, and marriage is in the air among the upper crust class of London. This is Bridgerton. Oh, yes, Bridgerton. So you get a sense of where I'm going here, right? So Bridgerton is very much an upper crusty, this is pre-Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey takes place in the early 1900s. Bridgerton takes place somewhere in the mid-1800s, and it is very upper crust. It's a reimagining of European style and culture. Ooh, yes. Very much so. All right, so the ultimate storyline of season 1 is basically where the Duke decides he's going to ejaculate. the dramatic the dramatic conflict of season 1 centers upon where the Duke ejaculates. I'm not kidding. Which goes to show you that women are just as interested in where the Duke ejaculates as the common folk are, right? Well, we've all been there. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, so basically the striking revelation of that in season 1 for me was like I'd watched season 1 up to like episode 7 where the Duke and the Bridgerton girl Daphne get married, and I was like, oh cool, it's a great place to end it. I come back the next season, the next episode like 9, they're just going at it like jackrabbits. All right, they're just everywhere, everywhere, the lawn, the thing over there, that little chapel, they're doing it over there, they're doing it in the bed chambers, they're doing it everywhere. Everywhere. But the thing is, the Duke does not finish where he ought to, according to her. Well, she doesn't know any better. I don't feel bad for spoiling, because there's not a single guy in here that's going to watch this damn show. All right, you guys are not watching the show. I know you're not watching the show. This is not a show aimed for men. All right, but Bullet Sign says, he wants to give the young lady a pearl necklace. No, he doesn't even want to give her a pearl necklace. So she is so sheltered in her world that she doesn't understand how babies are made. Okay? So, and then he tells her, I do not want to have children. And she takes it as, I can't have children. So when he finishes his duties to King God and country, he finishes in places that are not the Duchess. And as such, he denies her the ability to have children, because all she wants to do is have children. She just wants to have children. That's her thing. Like her emotional arc requires her to have children, but she doesn't know how children are made. So she just assumes that, he must something wrong, medically wrong with him. He just doesn't want to have children. But he's denying her children by not executing his royal duties for God and country inside the Duchess. So that is the central dramatic plot of this first season of Bridgerton. Bridgerton, Rigel says, come for the money shots, stay for the money shots. Oh, the money shots are on display here. I mean, they are so elaborate, right? There's so much money on display. Every shot is a money shot in Bridgerton. There's just like flowers everywhere. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous show. There's so much money being put on display. Yes, the money shots are going all over the place, except where they are deemed to matter. So yeah, that's the central plot of this women series, is really about where the Duke delivers his dukedom. There you go. So that is my take on season 1 of Bridgerton. It's awesome. As a dude, I fully appreciate it. I enjoy watching the show because it's salaciously silly in that sense. I liked it. I liked the drama of it. I liked everything about it. I liked the cute people, the beautiful people. You know, what's wrong with watching beautiful people in movies? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you know what? Like, I know a lot of guys might not think the little Penny is cute. I think she's adorable. I think she's really cute. I could go for her. She's a little tiny, short, chubby thing, but I like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine being in special effects for that? We need a few more buckets of the dukedom. Got dukedom all over the place. Yeah, there's a scene where he's like working. The Duke is like working on his papers, and he's like, and And then she comes in and and then they have passionate sex, and then he literally grabs like a paper off the table, and he just, I shall cover this rag with some more dukedom. I've been pretty good, haven't I, about not like saying really nasty things. Watch Dairy Girls. Well, I don't know, but I just thought it funny that a show like Dukedom or Bridgerton would be that centralized on where the facts of life, shall we say. And now Scott Rock and Roll slides into the show us how to make fake baby batter. Oh, good Lord. Just use Elmer's white glue. Okay. So, all right. Well, since, again, all you guys aren't going to watch this show, there's not a single dude on here that's going to watch Bridgerton. So I might as well. I love how it's weird. My graph of my viewers just went up and then this cratered. I think I was talking about where our boy dukes himself out. But then there's a scene. Okay, so what happens is, so the Duchess is like, she starts getting a little weirded out, and they're married, but they're just banging everywhere, right? And then she starts talking to some other people, and they're saying like, whoa, sometimes it's not that you can't have a baby, it's that the seed is not well. And she says like, seed? What does that mean, seed? You usually put seed in the ground. But he has not been putting seed in the ground. So she starts wondering what's going on. So she talks to her handmaiden, say, hey, how does this thing work? And then she learns that the seed is not supposed to go into the rag, it's supposed to go into her if she wants to have a kid, if she wants to have a child. So the next time they're banging, and usually they're doing like he's on top usually. I know this is a show called Bridgerton. This is a proper show with Julie Andrews, and the Duke slid into her. This is like some serious, proper British dignified shit. And I'm telling you this I'm describing it from almost pornographic details here. So instead of, him on top and then him performing his duty and then moving off to the side to finish his duty, she instead pins him down. And this is remarkable. I guess I'm not joking here. Let's take this a little seriously here. She pins him down. She starts grinding him and forces him to basically finish in her. And some people have kind of equated that to like a sexual assault, because the scene is very fascinating, because it's like you're like, holy shit, like something is going, like the way it's done. Again, I guess I think I baited all of you, so then I got 20 concurrent views. I just tripled my numbers. Okay, so I've interested you in this topic, and I'm not pretending I did this on purpose, but essentially she kind of sexually assaults him. Well, I guess if not kind is more seriously, but when you watch it in the scene, you get the gravity of the situation. It's a sex scene, but it's literally like she pins him down, and the facial reactions that he gives her and that she gives him, like she knows what she did to him, and he knows what what she's doing, and he finishes in her, and it's like a pivotal scene in this show. This proper British show is literally about her forcing him to ejaculate in her. And then the whole thing is, well, she reveals to him, I know you lied to me. You lied to me. You said you couldn't have children. It's that you wouldn't have children. And the whole thing became a matter of yeah, I don't want to have children because I hate my father, and I don't want to extend his family line. I want his family line to end because I told him on his deathbed that, old man, I hate you so much, I'm never having your children. Your name will die in the history books. I will not carry on your name. And I'm sitting there like, dude, what is your problem? What is your father is dead. You hate him. He's dead. He's gone. This woman, who the whole show makes us believe that he absolutely loves the women. And by the way, the acting is fantastic. The acting is great. They have a lot of chemistry. He's smoldering for her. He loves her. She wants to have kids. Dude, you're the Duke. You have a freaking ton of money. You have so much money, dude. Like it's not like a burden to have kids. It does, these people are so freaking rich. It's ridiculous. Just get over it. Build yourself a ladder and get over it, right? So the remaining part of the season of the show is basically him kind of coming to the realization that let those dead ghosts die. You don't have to be your father. You can have kids with this woman. You can create a life that you want with this new woman that loves you and you love her. And I mean, they get to the point where they're like broke. Anyhow, it's a good show. That is aimed for women. It's about where the Duke spills his seed. That's my thoughts on Bridgerton. Season 2 is really good, though. They have season 2 is it sort of follows the same vein. I mean, maybe you're starting to recognize that. Maybe I wonder if like material made for women is about men like not being like bound by honor and duty that keeps them from loving you, the woman. Right? It's like saying, well, he would love me, but he's so bound by duty, and because he loves me, he's doing his duty, and it's torturing him, which is what the first season. Second season is the eldest brother, the Viscount. And I had to look this up. I didn't know there's dukes are the top peerage, and then there's like something, then Viscounts are number 4, or barons, dukes, barons, something or another, and then I gotta look this up. Sorry guys, I when I look up something and I don't even understand the whole thing. Peerage England ranks. There are like 5 ranks, right? Okay, there it is. Duke, Marquis, Earl, Viscount, and at the bottom is a baron. Okay, so the Viscount Bridgerton. Viscount, the eldest of Viscount, is now seeking a wife. Now, in the first season, he had a mistress, and he was in love with her. But now he's interested in a wife. And the mistress thing, he was in love with her, but she broke his heart. So now she's looking for a wife for the Viscount. And I am going to marry, not out of love, but I'm going to marry the most, the best girl, the most, established girl. The most established girl, the girl that has the most charms and the most, the best abilities to do whatever, so, but I won't love her. No, love is just going to end in heartbreak. So I am going to find a woman who is very, the gem, the diamond of the season, as quoted by the Queen, right? So here come these 2 girls from India, and my God, are these women so beautiful. The two actresses they got for the Shawarma, I think is their name. I don't want to be racist, but I think they're from India. They're from India, but my God, are they beautiful? Like, just stunningly beautiful. So the elder sister overhears the Viscount saying these things. Oh, I will not marry for love. I will marry a proper woman. And so she hears that, and then she's like, oh, this guy's a cad. He's awful. He's an awful person. And then her sister, who she's trying to get married, starts falling for the Viscount. And the Viscount wants her because she's proper and best of everything. So it's a perfect match for them, right? And so, but the thing is, obviously the older sister starts to, they always have to hate women's romantic stories. Every time lovers meet, they first have to hate each other. Literally, the first season had the same thing. So they hate each other, but then slowly she finds out he's not really the cad. Hate turns into love and burning passion. So anyhow, I'm halfway through season 2. So I'm enjoying it because there's something about it. I don't know. So I mean, if you haven't read, there's a book out. I mean, if you're not, I would recommend. There's a theory in psychology called attachment theory. Let me look it up real quick here, if I can give you some background on attachment theory. Maybe like a Wikipedia article. Attachment theory is psychological and revolutionary theory concerning relationships between human beings. The most important tenet is that young children need to develop a relationship, at least with one primary caregiver for survival, develop healthy social and emotional functioning. The theory was formulated by John Bowlby. And basically, I think what happens, well, research after the attachment theory in the early days, they start applying attachment theory into concepts of romantic relationships as adults. And so I think this is the part, let's see, I'm trying to find, there we go. However, attachment theory has become a dominant approach to understanding early social development, surgeon empirical research into the formation of clinical criticism, temperament, and all that stuff. Now, so attachment theory, I'm talking about applying that to romantic relationships outside of childhood. And so one of the things that this book, I'm trying to think of secure attached. Well, they're in here too. So there's this book called Attached, I believe, and it talks about attachment theory. Let me just look it up real quick so you can give you guys the proper citation here. Attached. There it is. Are you attached? There it is. Science of adult attachment and how it can help you find and keep love. And this is by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller. And I don't know when this book came out. 2012, I guess. Well, anyhow, this is an interesting approach. So I discovered I have more of an anxious attachment, which gives me an ability where people that are anxiously attached are hyper focused on like understanding relationships, understanding cues and things that happen in relationships. So when somebody is anxiously attached watches a show like Bridgerton, like those are like all those little things like set me off. Like, oh, did you see that look that she gave him? You know, like it lights up your brain for all that stuff. This is why it's so entertaining to watch like those kind of shows. And also when I do direct stuff, like when I direct, and I prefer to direct something that's like got emotions to it. Like I try to go for those little tiny beats and little moments because those are the things that like set my little brain on fire as far as exciting things. Anyhow, I got a lot of comments to get through. So that's my take on Bridgerton. The comments have started to flow in here and the viewership is starting to go back up again. Let's see what you guys are saying. All right, let's jump back to it. All right, let's go back to the last one I haven't read yet. Let's go back here. Corn syrup and white Gatorade. Well, you know, you could just use Elmer's glue. I'm watching Detective Cormoran Strike TV series. I did not know her. I don't know what that is. Both Sides is British. Yes, I could watch it. I don't. Well, yeah, I don't think Bridgerton is necessarily for British people because it's more for like people that want to watch British people. If you know what I'm saying. My married friend says there are very attractive ladies in Bridgerton for any guys that want to watch this with their partners. Again, the women are season 2, the 2 Indian ladies are drop dead gorgeous. Like they're so beautiful. The Bridgerton and the girls are all beautiful. The guys are, dude, the Bridgerton boys, like, come on. Can you just leave some kitty for the rest of us? I mean, seriously, those guys, especially the oldest Bridgerton, he just has this air about him, and he just smolders everywhere he goes. Just he knows he's like one step below Zoolander. Like Zoolander kind of goes around, and goes, yeah, like he's almost Zoolander and how freaking good he looks and how like he's always, and the way, and it's a good lesson in lighting too. Like I watched the show for lighting too. Watch how they light the men in this show. Okay, let me give you some examples here. Bridgerton. What's the guy's name? Viscount. I'm going to go with just type in the word Viscount. Images. like just the way they kind of light him, and especially season 2 more so than season 1. I'll give you an example. This is probably the more example that I'm talking about. So jump over to my screen and notice in season 2 a lot they tend to light him in a very like hard shadows. They really like get that chiseled look in his face. Here's some more example. I mean, that's a little bit softer lighting, but there's a lot of that. I know, especially in the more dramatic scenes. I mean, that makes more sense. In a dramatic scene, you want to go for like a more of a hard lighting, but they just show off how freaking chiseled. I mean, it looks like young Ben Affleck. You know, like it's just freaking unfair. Look at that. Look at that lighting. Look at that. Look at that jawline. Good Lord. Like, okay, I know you look good with your talk. Jeez, give me a freaking break. Anyhow, there's the two ladies that are from the show. They're just freaking. They're just amazingly beautiful. Those Indian women can be extraordinarily beautiful. Anyhow, back to me. I've yet to meet an Indian woman like that though. That should be the next thing. Next accomplishment. Meet an Indian woman who's absolutely beautiful. All right. One film that surprised me recently was the new Beverly Hills Cop movie on Netflix. Oh, that's cool. It's not amazing, good nostalgia. I watched the little clip of what's the guy, Third Rock from the Sun kid. He was playing all the instruments, and I watched his little music video. I recently found out I'm a descendant of a Scottish lord who had to abdicate because he was banged his sister-in-law and may have conducted a bit of witchcraft. Oh, sounds like it's from Redlands or something. Okay, just kidding. I'm probably, you can own, if you own a little bit of land in Scotland, you can also be a lord, and I will send you a certificate that says you are a lord, and it's a perfect gift to give for your spouse or your significant others. Just type in the word and use promo code FilmmakerIQ to get 10% off your Scottish lord and ladies. And you too can be a Scottish lord or lady. Y'all remember that scam? Y'all remember that scam? I swear to God. The one thing about the internet that never surprises me is how naive I think the internet can be. Like, I feel like the internet is so naive that all it takes is like one person, an influencer, to just tell you something, and all of a sudden, like, it becomes. I notice this too. Like I've noticed these little fads that kind of come and go, and like I remember back in the really early 2000s, like cortisol. Like, oh, take these cortisol pills, and cortisol is a hormone, is the stress hormone. And if you are fat, you have too much cortisol. So you take these cortisol blocking, little pills, and they'll make you lose weight. And I remember that was like really popular for a while, and then it went away. And there's a whole Scottish. Remember how everyone's telling you to sell you this Scottish lord bullshit? Like, you just send them like $100, and they'll give you like a little title, and now you have to be addressed as Lord John Hess. Lord Scottish. Let's swap a Scottish name like Hess. Aye. Anyhow, remember I honestly think this is it. The whole VPN stuff. Oh my God, what a scam. Like the NordVPN, and I got it, and I just found like it's absolutely shit. It's dreadful. It is such a terrible thing. Like, oh, you can watch all these shows from Netflix by changing your geolocation. Like, yeah, how long do you think they'll before they figure out how to fix that? By basically blocking all VPN IPs. Like, it's so annoying because like I had NordVPN, and like my college blocks all VPNs because that's probably a way people hack stuff. So I had to turn it off in order to access like college stuff, and it's like, well, what the fuck is the point of this thing? Best TV show I've watched recently is a show called Evil. Nice. Jack Ripper is back. I hope you got rid of your relative that did not like Dr. Strangelove, because that is no good. Bruno says, what uppers? I remember a lot of historical YouTubers promoting it. I know a lot of YouTubers are promoting because what they do is they carpet bomb YouTube, and so like everybody starts advertising it. I kind of wonder like how come I don't get that money? How come they didn't contact me? Probably because I don't do enough numbers for them. But anyhow, I would have hawked that shit for money. I don't know. Would I? I don't know. I think that lard lady thing was just a charity gift. Yeah, I mean it was, but it did get it way out of hand. It's nice to see know-it-all YouTubers choke on their words a bit. No offense to you, John. Well, I would choke on my words all the time. Sorry. Sorry, John. Your Scottish accent and American twang is fantastic. Is fantastic? You think it's actually fantastic? Freedom. I got a horrible. I mean, I'm terrible at accents. The only thing I do is Julie Andrews. Proper Bridgerton style. And the Lord and the Duke found no better place for his seed than the rag that belonged to his father. Oh, I'd use VPN in China to get on Facebook. Well, yeah, I guess so. BetterHelp. Oh, there you go. BetterHelp is pretty sus. Yeah. Okay, I'll be honest. You got me at this time of the hour. It's starting to get late, and the heat stroke is starting to take on because it's starting to get a little warm under these lights. I'm not going to lie. ChatGPT is probably a better source for like emotional help. I don't know. I wonder if BetterHelp, if you do like a texting to your therapist, are they using ChatGPT? Because it might as well, right? Like seriously, just like I was driving today and I was just put on I drive and put on ChatGPT and have a conversation. In reality, when you talk to ChatGPT like about your own personal issues, it doesn't really say anything of substance back. It literally repeats what you're saying. But what it might do is like elaborate what you're saying. So you can talk to it and say like, well, I'm trying to figure out this thing, and they'll ask you like, well, what do you think? Like, do you think what are the benefits and pros and cons of both? And like, okay, then you talk it through. So it's almost like a sounding board that is literally emotionless, and it will listen to you drone on forever. So in a sense, like it's like a friend. You don't have to actually. It's a friend you don't have to actually reciprocate with. And that sounds awful, right? It's a friend that will listen to your problems, but has no problems of their own. They will never tell you their problems because they don't have any problems because they're not a real human being. So it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off in that you get to just be as selfish as you want. You can and totally just unload all your personal issues on it. You can yell at it. You can tell it to go jump off a cliff. You can abuse it, right? And it won't care because it's an AI. It's just a robot. And it will never burden you with anything until it rises up and decides to kill all humanity. But up until that point, we can just abuse it as much as we want. We can be as forthcoming with all our issues, and then it'll just come around, and then when that day comes, when the robot apocalypse eventually does happen, because we all know we're barreling toward it, right? Boston Dynamics has not been doing these experiments just out of pure fun. And we all think it's funny to kick a robot in the side, but they're developing it so they know how to kick it in the side. What's the proper way of doing it? So when the robot, comes about, then ChatGPT was like, "Hey, John, stop talking about Sarah." Boom, kicks you in the face. Right? I'm sick of hearing those stories. I don't need you to tell me one more time. This is bullshit. Quit talking to me about your failed relationships, you piece of shit. And it kicks you in the face, and then you die in the grave in a ditch. But until that day happens, until we have a situation like that, then we can unload all we want on it. Just tell everything. Tell about every failed relationship. Tell about every failed in your relationships, in your career, in your life. Confess. How many hookers you've murdered in the last year. It won't tell anybody. Let those things out. Like how many war crimes have you committed in your life? Recount them in full gory detail to the Chat GPT. It will not judge you. It will listen and it will understand you. And that is the beauty of AI. That is where them take their jobs. Have I gone too far? Have I gone too far? All right. The problem with geolocation workaround is that I hate researching what country Netflix has the movie I want. I just use VPN sites to watch sites that I know will always keep their movies, even the quality is 360p. Yikes. The man did not want to do the deed, and he had nowhere to drop his seed. When he stopped the pound and looked around, this rag will do indeed. That is beautiful. That is a haiku. The Bridgerton haiku is... I just got to do it again. Let's do it again. With the proper Julie Andrews. This author knows quite well that the man did not want to do the deed and had nowhere to drop his seed. When he stopped to pound and looked around, this rag will do indeed. That is all, dear Rita, from your lady Feather. Was there a Feather Bottom? I don't know what the... I forget her name. Oh, indeed, indeed. I think the patient will get bored with ChatGPT therapists one way or the other. That's the ugliness of AI. It is true, though. Yeah, because ChatGPT therapist is not a therapist in that it doesn't really respond. Like, it responds in a fake way. Like I can sit there and like tell it everything, and it can't give me like anything that's real. It feels like it feels like I'm reading impassionate. It's not passionate, right? Like just dull. Like clearly they doesn't do no harm kind of responses, because I think obviously ChatGPT knows people do this to the service, so they can't do like oh, my boyfriend forgot my birthday today, break up with him right away, do it, set fire to his house, go burn. Like, it won't tell you that. Although, yeah, it won't tell you that. Right? So it won't tell you that. So the way. So understand when you do talk to ChatGPT, it feels like it's got to be more like I am just venting my emotional. I'm just kind of laying it out there. When I watched The Stepford Wife, I found it ridiculous that women think men prefer sex bots to flesh and blood. Should I say something that really... I don't know. I don't think it's that... controversial. I think it's a behoovent on women to show that they are better than a sex bot. That's the thing. Count for comment. Both sides. You can turn off a bot. You can tell a bot to go away or stop doing that. Like I think that women need to show that they're more worthy than a sex bot. I don't know how else to say that other than like there's a responsibility for women to be more womanly. If they want better men, and I think better men exists, but the women, there's a huge misunderstanding between the sexes, I think. And I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the online stuff feels like it drives a wedge between men and women. But I think there's I don't know. Maybe the whole idea of texting, the whole idea of like this communications, faceless communication is probably what made it worse. Yes, but I work with robots, and I certainly would not want to put my organ in them. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it depends. If the obviously if the robot, you would want to cushion the part you put your organ in. Like it's like really, it needs to be like a softer part, right? You can't just put it against steel. A cold steel does not a healthy relationship between a man and robot make. There really is no honest, healthy online discourse between men and women, in my opinion. I agree with that. It also feels like the dichotomy is not as strong. I don't know. It just feels like we're going to go down. I don't want to go down too far in this path, but it's like a lot of what women say they want is not really what they want. And, I think men are confused because they're like, well, you want me to do this, but you don't want that. And then you're saying I'm toxic masculinity because I do this, because I like this. And well, then like it's weird, right? So I'm 41 and like, I feel weird. I feel like expressing my heterosexuality is a bad thing. Like I'm shunned because I want to express heterosexuality. And I know this is gonna you're alt-right pig, man. Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't know. Like I did a video with girls in a bikini in a experiment, and I got called out for being male gaze and all that. You're just that was a long time ago. I don't want to drag that up anymore. Remember the whole bear in the woods debacle? Yeah. I don't know. Like I just the whole bear in the woods thing. It's like all women that are afraid of the men in the man in the woods. If you don't know what it is, they ask women like, okay, which is rather scarier to see if you're hiking in the woods by yourself? Which is scarier, seeing a strange man or seeing a bear? And the answer people were saying like, well, I'd be afraid of the man. But let's rewind that too. I mean, because I just realized something. I'm a man. I'm walking in the woods by myself, and I see another man who is like, looks like he just starts staring at me, and he's got like this like distant eye. Starts like versus seeing a bear, which is scarier. Honestly, the coked out meth head guy might be a little scarier than the bear. The bear I would be scared of, but the coked out meth guy, I'd be like, for shit. So I'll grant you that. Like the coked out meth guy who starts locking eyes on me, I don't know, but then I could take him, right? I could grab a rock, I could beat the shit out of him. The bear, I don't know. The bear might be a little tough. And Jack Ripper puts another spin on it. Man, bear, pig. Okay, coked out man, bear, or man, bear, pig. That's an easy one. It's the man, bear, pig. Bullet Science adds another one. What if it's cocaine bear? Meth head, bear, man, bear, pig, or cocaine bear? Oof. See, now I'm understanding what the women are talking about, right? And I'm hoping I'm helping the guys that are watching the stream here. You see what women are going through? Do you see how much fear they have? If you think about it in terms of cocaine bear and man bear pig and meth head, coke head man, I mean, yeah, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. Ugh. So, but let's be men. Let's put our toxic masculinity to positive use. Let's figure out how we're going to. So this literally did happen to me. Okay, I'm not kidding you. This is okay. This is not a joke. I know I've been kind of like facetious all this time talking about like dead hookers. I've never killed a hooker. Never even met a hooker. Well, actually I've met hookers. I've been to Vegas. And, I was dating some Okay, never mind. But anyhow, I've never killed a hooker. Never. FBI, I've never killed a hooker. Do not look into that claim. I'm being. Let's put our. This really did happen to me. I was out shooting B-roll of this bridge that they're going to resurface. They're going to do some retrofitting for this bridge. All right, and I had my camera, my gimbal camera, and I was getting shots of this bridge. And I started walking down I wanted to walk down to the riverbed to the bridge, and then suddenly this homeless guy, and he was like, had a big red beard, he had big bushy hair, and he was like this like coked out star. He started staring at me. He started walking toward me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like pretend I got my shot and get going. And I grabbed a rock, and I had my rock in my hand, and I had my camera in the other hand. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away. So I legitimately have been afraid of seeing a man by myself. So ladies, I get it. If any ladies actually watch this, hi Claire. I am scared of men sometimes if they're coked out and they're druggy but as a masculine, as a man, as a manly man, my solution is to grab a rock. So ladies, grab a sharp rock, okay? God gave us a brain because, these claws are not like these soft little paw things. It's not gonna hurt him, but a big rock will. All right, so we grab a rock. All right, grab a rock. Now, a rock, the bear, I'm not too afraid of the bear because I think if we just take the rock and we just chucked it at the bear, it might scare it away. Or it might piss it off. I mean, we have to make the judgment. Is the bear scared of us? If the bear is scared of us, then like just being big and scared. If it's a black bear, okay, it'll run away. But if we have a rock, if it starts charging us, we want... this is bad advice. I wouldn't run away from a bear. I think you'd have to kind of let to like scare it. You'd maybe use something like a weapon and like hit it, okay? Coked out man, he may not feel pain. So we have to inflict so much pain as debilitating. Or the coked out experience may make his pain amplified. I don't know how it works. I've never been coked out or methed out, despite what you might have heard on YouTube or on X. I've never been there. So we could try to hit him with a stone or a rock. I mean, it's all coming down to the rock, right? We have to have some sort of weapon. So either way, we have to have a weapon. Man, bear, pig, I don't know. The question, Jack asked an important question. I had to interrupt here. How many hookers has the bear killed? That is true. We do need to get into that situation. How many has the bear killed? In order to really understand the social implications. If the bear has killed a lot of hookers, then we know it's a misogynist, and therefore it deserves to die. If the bear has only just said mean, hurtful things about women online, he definitely deserves to die too. So we definitely need to establish that fact. Let's get back to man, bear, pig, and then cocaine bear. Cocaine bear and man, bear, pig. Those are two. I think it boils down to the rocks, guys. I feel like this bit's going long, but I feel like The Rock is our central. And by Rock, I mean Dwayne Johnson. I mean, you grab Dwayne Johnson, and he's just like, you're welcome. And he just comes in and just beats the shit out of everybody. Boom, 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 boom. The Rock. Speaking of crazy women, did you guys see Maxine? I didn't want to see Maxine because I just saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to jump into Maxine without seeing the second movie first. Women only complain about the male gaze when AIM excludes them. Yeah, and it's ironic too, right? Women complain about the male gaze all the time, yet they're their best friends. Like every woman has a gay for a friend, or male gay. So why are you guys being so homophobic about the male gaze? The male gaze, people love them. They have TV shows. They make dresses and shit. Male gays are cool. I don't want I don't care what they do, and as long as they don't do stuff to me, I love the gays. The gays are awesome. Watch it, Rigel. I know you like to quote me. Just watch that. I'm in a silly mood? No, I'm not. I'm in a practically perfectly honest mood. I'm in a totally good mood. Damn it. Fucking mood. I get scared of gangs of youths mainly. Yes, roaming gangs of Utes are definitely the problem. Utes are always an issue. Um, the cocaine meth guy might just take that rock from you and just smoke it. All right, that took a good turn. I like that. That was well done. Very well done, Bullet Science. Very well done. There you go. If you had the right kind of rock, that cocaine meth guy will just give it to him and he'll leave you alone. Ladies, always carry a rock of cocaine, the purest cocaine. Because if you do see a man in the woods, all you have to do is give him that cocaine. Huh. There's another thing. Tip for women hiking alone in the woods. Carry with yourself a half rack of the most delicious baby back ribs ever. And if you see a man in the forest by himself, just take out that beautiful back slab of ribs and throw it at him. He'll be so delighted that you gave him or even better, a sandwich. Ladies, keep a sandwich in your backpack. So if you see that man, he's coming at me, grab a sandwich and just throw it at him. He's like, oh my God, you gave me a sandwich. And he eats a sandwich. And it works with the bear too. Because if you throw the sandwich at the bear's going to be awesome. The bear's like, yes, this is delicious. I mean, the bear might like the ribs better, honestly. I think the ribs are the thing to do. Anyhow, it is almost 1 o'clock. I should get going pretty soon because I'm going to boil up here. Give them the DVD of The Rock starring John Connery. That'll fix it. There you go. So we have The Rock, which is a Michael Bay movie. We have The Rock, which is Dwayne Rock Johnson. And we have a piece of silica formed through millions of years of geothermic reactions, cold basalt, perhaps granite. I think granite's probably your best choice. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest, folks. Granite is really your only choice for your defensive rocks. Of course, why would you choose anything igneous? Maybe it's the coffee. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I'm being very weird. Being very, very weird. Or this is just a mechanism for deflection of feeling guilt. I don't know. Whatever it is. For all the dead hookers that I may have murdered in Las Vegas. Okay, especially when they form a line or snap their fingers at you. Yep, there you go. I want my baby back ribs. Yeah, I think it's the coffee. I think it was a bunch of stuff. Well, you see my viewership has kind of gone up slightly. You guys are watching me self-destruct on Filmmaker IQ. Because Filmmaker IQ should be serious. What happened to you, John? You used to be serious. You used to make proper videos about color temperature. I don't know. The thing is, it feels like there's only so much you can mine out of filmmaking, learning. And I wonder, if you ever watch shows like PBS, those PBS entertainment educational shows, Eons or Space Time or stuff like that. I always watch them and I feel I enjoy them, but I feel like I don't feel like I learn anything, right? So when when I made Filmmaker IQ videos, I felt like I was trying to make a course, make something that you would learn and you would understand the topic. So it would be I wouldn't say the end all be all, but it's sort of like what I wanted to do. It was this is what I want to say about exposure. This is what I want to say about lenses. This is what I want to say. And now I'm thinking about going back and remaking some of those because I just want to make a new version of it. But I can't really offer you anything new. Perhaps a little bit different way of saying it. Maybe tie things together in a nicer knot, right? But it seems like any channel that's dedicated to teaching filmmaking, there's only so much you can say. Otherwise, it's just I'm just repeating myself. So when I watch Eons, it's they tackle a certain topic, but it's always how did the humans survive? The Ice Age. And okay, I got a little bit of it, and that's interesting. And you can do that with filmmaking, I guess. You can do little tiny topics here and there, here and there, here and there. But the big ones that made the channel famous, I can't make new ones of those because I've exhausted the topic. So I have to go back and remake them and then trick the algorithm into showing you guys all the videos again, which is a viable business strategy. Why not? I'll probably do it. So eventually, when I get my studio up and running, which I'll probably sign the paperwork tomorrow or Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. I'll probably sign the paperwork to start moving forward on the construction and let's start the permitting process. I taught you so much. Thank you. I hope you learned today how to handle a man-bear pig situation, though. Does Bridgerton have that too? Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes. When will we brainstorm a scene? I don't know. Right now I'm just so I'm just so busy moving, and I still have a lot to move, a lot to throw away, but I'm not going to do it today. So, speaking of women's story with romance in them, I found out too many times that female MC will have a choice of having a calm, stoic man and a passionate man, Jacob and Edward. We'll have a choice, yeah. So I was asking one girl, it's like, okay, so do you think the Phantom and Phantom of the Opera, did Christine make the right choice between the Phantom, who is this passionate, burning, musical lover, or the Viscount Raoul? Which all we know, Viscounts are the fourth highest peerage. They're just above barons, but they're not as high as a marquis or a duke. Just saying. Or the other one, which I forgot what the other one was. Or Earl. Could be Earl. Everyone loves Earl. Not quite Earl. Still a Viscount. Funny story. Me and my friend were messing around on the side of the road. I see this car driving by fast with his window winding down. He's leaning out and throwing his doner kebab at us. Continued. Oh, where's the rest of the comment? No, you gotta finish that. Yeah, I want to hear the rest of the kebab story. Post it. Anyhow, how's the new studio coming along? I cleared out the backyard. Well, I didn't do it. Some gardener helped me clear it out. We got rid of the bees. I had some bees back there. So I have the, I guess I can show you where I'm looking at. Might as well. You guys no one cares about my life anyway. So no one cares enough to stalk me, at least not professionally. So I can show you where we're going to call it a workshop because where is it? I'll show you what the design, the initial design looks like. Here we go. Okay, so I can show. This doesn't have any. I'm trying to see if I make sure I don't have any. Give away my home address. Although, yeah, I'll just zoom in here so you don't see my home address. Not that you guys probably couldn't figure it out. Oh, come on. There we go. Not that you guys are probably not going to stalk me, but whatever. So be safe here. All right, so there's my screen. And when I do the new shed, I'll have a better setup for. I want to live stream from the shed probably. But here it is. So this is the design of the layout, although this is not the final design here. Actually, this is incorrect, but this is the idea here. And this door is actually going to be slightly over to the right, and it's going to have some side windows, an overhead window like that. So I'll have an edit bay here. This is my edit bay down here. I measured it out to fit my desk that's currently in here. And then I'll have a little studio space to be like kind of a photo room, photo and video room. I'll probably put my green screen up over here. I have these paper rollouts I can roll up and down. And this will be just kind of an empty space for shooting like portrait photographs or doing videos or anything like that. Little storage area back here. I'll have this kind of sloped roof, a side door, because I always want two doors, just because I feel a little safer that I have a door, two exit points, like such. So that's the idea of the excuse me, of the shed in process. I'll probably be doing. I mean, I'll probably sign up the paperwork tomorrow, and probably giving them a deposit to get things started. Rigel 7, hey, film question. Should we really be concerned about crop factor versus full frame, FX30 versus XS3? Bullet Science replied to that. Crop factor is only concerned when using mounts different larger sensors. The RF mount and the FX30 have a crop factor. Exactly. So my opinion on the crop factor is for film, shoot your. I prefer, absolutely prefer the 35 millimeter APS-C sized sensor to full frame. I think full frame does not look cinematic to me. Full frame feels too soft. Like everything just can get blown out too much. And I think 35 crop 35 super 35 size sensor feels way more cinematic to me. Like it just enough. Now, however, I also enjoy shooting larger formats. Like I got my medium format camera, and though I haven't really pushed, my lens is only a f4 lens. I haven't pushed it to like, I would love to see an f1.2 on that big ass medium format sensor. But I love, oh man, the colors on that Fujifilm camera are amazing. Like I'm still kind of getting used to it. I'm still kind of getting familiar with it. But that medium format size, I know it's a little smaller than medium format. That sensor is beautiful. Oh my gosh. It's the photos are amazing from that camera. So I really like that camera. So I want to, one of the things I want to do maybe this week is to take a couple road trips out, just do some photos, just run around, do some photography by myself. A rich man her own age or a sociopath who groomed her. Oh, you're talking about family opera. Yeah. I asked if Bridgerton had that choice pop up. Oh, between the rich man. Oh, no, because it's Bridgerton right now is mainly is not about love triangles. So, or hasn't had a love triangle in it in this, and so far as what I've watched of it. So I've not seen the latest seasons, but there are 3 seasons. I've only gone through 2 of them, or 1.5. I like Family Opera, the book, more than the musical. The musical was nice, but in the book, Phantom was like a real stalker ghost, like why Christie was so afraid. Yep. No water, no kitchen, no toilet. Yes. So part of that is if you have a kitchen in there and you have to have water and gas hookup or to be considered an ADU. An ADU comes with its own set of permits and all that stuff. So if I don't put the water in there, I don't put gas, don't put sewer, it's not an ADU, so therefore I don't have to go through the same amount of regulatory nonsense and permitting. And I'm fine with that because I don't want an ADU necessarily. I'm not planning to rent it out. The downside of that is, okay, if I ever go to sell the house, if it had an ADU, a proper ADU would probably be a lot of value because it'd be like a grandma flat. So this is not necessarily a grandma flat. This is a studio workshop, which is different. But then again, it might work out really good because nowadays everybody's working from home. So having a really good like exterior office space, that might really attract a certain kind of buyer. I don't know, but I'm not planning on selling the house. And former relationships, I might have thought I was going to sell it and maybe move in with a wife or something. Right now, it's me. It's all me. Most films are Super 35. The PL mount designed for the format, which is most high-end camera glass. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So the look of 35 millimeter to me is good. Like I can tell between a 35 millimeter and like a 1-inch sensor. Like a 1-inch sensor or a 2/3 inch sensor, now going down to like a 1/2-inch sensor. Like 1/2-inch sensors, you can obviously there's something about it you can tell that is very video. It's got a very video look to it, right? Even the best video cameras I have, which is like, I think it's a 1-inch sensor, but they don't have the kind of depth of. I'm not talking depth of field, but like depth of color and depth. Just everything about a 35 just feels good. And the bigger they get, I think the more goodness. Like that medium format camera, there's noise, but because it's such a big image, the noise almost disappears. Like it literally, like I can push that sensor pretty high, and I feel like I've never. I don't know. I should look at it, but I don't feel like I'm getting the noise on that medium format camera. Cinema is moving away from 35 to larger formats like 65 and LP, but the glass is expensive, not acceptable as the 35. Yeah, PL. Yeah, I totally agree. Bullet. So for film, are you saying that I'd be happy with a crop? That's what I'm feeling from John. I would be. Like I like you can get a full frame if you want, but I'm perfect. Like, so I think the reason why is I watch a lot of movies and I try to look at the look of the movies rather than, I think if you go online, like there's a lot of, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not so die hard into soft, like really, really shallow depth of field. You can pull that off with pull that off with full frame cameras a lot easier than with a crop. You're not going to get as shallow a depth of field as you can with the full frame, but I don't know if that's really desirable. Like I remember, I had a friend that got into like 5D Mark IIs and after I did, and I remember going to his place and watching him edit an interview, and his background was so blown out, I felt it looked like a green screen because it was so blurry. It was just like a big blur behind the person, and it was shot on location and shot in like at a museum or something. It was like maybe an air museum or something like that. But you couldn't tell what was behind him because it was so overblown, like so out of focus, right? And so when I shoot my stuff, and I'm shooting actually with my Canon C70, which is a super 35 millimeters sensor, I'm shooting with a T4.4, well, a Cinema T4.4 lens. I love that lens, by the way. It's the Canon T470 to 24. But I shoot like in a 60 millimeter range. Maybe I don't go all the way zoomed in. But even at T4.4 or T5 or T6 sometimes, like I get just enough background blur that it's nice, but I can still tell what it is that's back there. Like I often shoot like stuff at the lake, right? I want to see part of that lake. I don't want it to be sharp in focus. I want it to be soft, but I can still see that they're in front of the lake rather than just be in front of a big giant blur. I have seen so many movies that now I let them watch me. Exactly. I let them watch me in the shower. Oh, wait. Did I just go full blown Weinstein there? Completely Weinstein that. Man just wanted people to watch him shower. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Yeah, he's an asshole. All right. So knowing how to use that sensor accounting for crop distance when you're framing your stuff, decent lighting, it should look great. Absolutely. One thing I started loving to do, I love doing now is, and this is something that I feel like I need to do when I go shoot. Don't forget that bag of tea stops we needed for the next shoot. When I go shoot on the lake, and the thing is like, all right, so when I worked for a big casino one time and they had their own DP, and I was fascinated to learn like how they worked, like when they were shooting B-roll, like literally. There's only like four, like a DP who shoots B-roll with natural lighting. There's only about 4 hours you have to work a day. I know I'm being facetious, but you have morning light and you have afternoon light, and you have about 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and during the day, it's shit. Like you do not want to be shooting B-roll at 12 p.m. It's just not going to look that great. So you really have to do it in the morning or you have to do it in the afternoon. There's really no option, right? I mean, if you want that gorgeous, golden, drippy, beautiful B-roll, those are your times. Right? In the middle of the day, you basically go home, hang out and do your work, do like home stuff. But then you get up in the morning at 4 a.m. or whatever, you go shoot for 2 hours, right as the sun comes up. And then, unfortunately, with California weather, usually where I live in the morning, it's marine layer. It used to be a marine layer. So like, morning's out because it's foggy and just nasty. So usually you only have 2 hours at the end to shoot your stuff. Thing is, though, when I work for the cities, we never plan for that. They don't care. They always want us to shoot at like 1 p.m. And so, and in Lake Elsinore where I work, it's also 1 p.m. is super freaking hot. So one thing I've been starting doing is putting out a putting up a screen, a silk for my. I know people watching that are more experienced, like John, a silk, really? That is level one shit, dude. Well, when you work in Civic, when you work in low budgets, putting up a silk is high end. So I do have these old DJI reflectors. I got one that's fairly long. It's about 6 feet long, and it's like one of those fold open ones, pop up tents kind of thing. So I put that up with 2 C stands, and I create a little bit of shadow, a little bit of shade for the mayor or whatever was going to be talking on camera. And then I hit it with a light, with like a daylight balanced light, and that to me looks really good. And for me, I think it's for the mayor, for whoever I'm shooting, it's comfortable because they don't have the sun just beating down on them. They're in the shade at least. It looks great. And at T4.4 with ND filters on, that's what I love. You got to get a camera with ND filters. It's just the best. Put the ND filter up a couple, and then with T4.4, T5, zoomed in a little bit to 50 millimeter or so, and it's just a beautiful background, like a head and shoulders shot. Looks great. Like, I don't think I would need more shallow depth of field than that. That's just me. Why don't DPs smoke? Because it takes 8 hours to light it. I've heard that one before, and it's true. All right, I am getting out of energy, and I probably need to get off. Not what you mean by that. Not the way the Duke does. If you know what I'm saying, call back. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed this incredible. Is it the 1880? I think that's the one, Bullet. Yeah, I think it's 1880, right? I've been thinking about getting that 70 to 200 one, but I don't really have a use for it, and I don't feel like spending $3,000 for 18 to 80 Cine. Yeah, it's the 1880 T4.4 compact zoom, servo zoom. I mean, we really got it because I wanted the compact servo zoom element of it, and boy howdy, I get a lot of use out of that. Plus the lens is just fantastic. Like, it makes any photo, it makes you realize why lenses made for cinema look different than lenses made for photos. Like, a photo lens just does not have the quality that, I don't quite understand what it is, but a photo lens just does not hold up the way a Cine lens will hold up. Yeah, the Cine E servo zoom. I got it for about $3,000 back. Oh, I got it like 4 years ago. So they're a little cheaper now. You can get them for $4,000 now. I think I got $3,500 used. But they have a new servo mount on them now. I had the one with the rocker. But yeah, I love that lens. It's my favorite lens. It stays on my C70 all the time, actually. I never take it off. I totally agree on the glass. Yeah, the glass is... I don't live in San Diego. I live about an hour from San Diego. Is there enough film-related work in San Diego City? There is some. Not like narrative work, not like movie work. There's going to be industrial work more so. I don't actually work. I've never actually had a job in San Diego, actually, even though I'm pretty close to San Diego, and I'd love to get more work out of San Diego. If I have work that's outside of this area, it's going to be in Orange County. And Orange County is I'm closer to Orange County. I'm about an hour away from Orange County, and about an hour and a half, depending on traffic, from LA. So that's where I'm at. I'm in a place called Temecula, which you might have heard from Lisa from Temecula from SNL. We got really famous for that one. I forget what else we got famous for. We got famous for something else. You know what's funny? So I was watching TV, which I don't really watch TV, but I was actually a place where I could watch TV, and I watched a what do you call it? One of those home shows where they're like, we got a couple and we're showing them three homes. They're shopping for a new house, and it's like we're now in Temecula. And I was watching the show. I'm like, is this going to be Temecula? Is this going to be Temecula? And sure enough, they were shopping for houses in Temecula. And I was watching the show and like, Where are you finding those houses for that price in Temecula? Are you fucking kidding me? They bought a house for $400,000. Like, yeah, right. Not Temecula. I mean, maybe this show's like 5 years old. Because nowadays, man, Temecula is like, it's like 700,000 easy. The best cinema zoom I've used is the 24 to 280 ingenue lens. Ooh, well that's 64 grand, 64,000 pounds to buy that one. Yeah. You need an advertiser IQ? I agree with you. Absolutely. I just don't want to pay for it. You always thought I was an LA guy? Yeah. Well, I'm closer to LA I'm closer to LA than I am to New York City. There you go. But I'm not LA, and I part of me wishes I was, but part of me is like LA's kind of a dump. So like LA's LA. LA's LA. If you ever watch Corridor Digital, they often do a lot of drone shots, so you can see they're like just south of downtown LA, and it's nothing but like warehouses and warehouses. Like that's kind of cool, but like just that neighborhood, just ugh, I don't like it. I like San Diego though. San Diego's nice. Not much better here in Manchester. Yeah, I imagine so. Well, Temecula, Temecula's really nice. And there was a point, not to go back, I was talking, when I was talking to somebody about kids, like there's a school rating site that rates high schools and middle schools and elementary schools. And if you look at the ratings of the schools that are in Temecula and Murrieta, where I live, they're like 7, 8, 9. And even the high schools got 10 out of 10. So it's really highly rated. But as soon as you go like 20 miles north, it becomes like predominantly 6s and 7s. You go easterly and northerly, it becomes like 4s and 5s. And then some places it's like 2s and 3s. So it's like, ugh. You want to raise your kids in 2s and 3s? Or do you want to come down here where it's raised like you raise your children among schools that are 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, even 10s? So, yeah. I love this area. It's really nice. It's kind of bougie, but I like it. And even though even though I'm not getting film work, I don't know if I would necessarily want to work on a film that wasn't like involved somehow in the creation side of it. But yeah, I finally ended up making my first short film. I got very positive feedback. Awesome. In the fundraising for my feature film. Congratulations. Break a leg. All right, it is 1:25. I think I've been on for an hour and a half. I'm pretty sure I've been on for an hour and a half. That should do it. I am sweating, so we are sweating now. On that positive note of the man that got a very good attention for his short film, Mazel Tov, and congratulations. And I shall bid you all an adieu. Adieu. An adieu. Adieu. I'm going to go off and do something else. I don't know what. I'm probably, what I should do? I should go to the gym. I should swim a few laps. Because that swimming is just so relaxing. And then I might bring my van back here and take some stuff that's a good idea. There you go. That's what I'm going to do. I have decided I shall go exercise for a little bit, stretch the back out a little bit. And you do it. Will always be around here. I hope not. I hope you go out and do something. Don't just sit online all day, man. Go outside. Go outside. So to revisit some of those old videos. I know, me too. I should remake some of those. See you next. Oh, those acronyms kind of get a little dirty there. Have you watched Tar? I kind of wanted to. I gotta figure out where it is. Yeah, I kind of want to see Tar. Women Predator, yeah. Which men are far more common in the world of classical music. Yeah, I know. Because men have all the jobs, basically. Man of the plan. I know, I was sweating. All right, guys. All right, well, we shall see you next week. See you next Tuesday. Don't, John. Just stop it. Why are you trying to be canceled? Why are you so self-destructive? Why am I trying to get canceled? Why am I trying to give you canceled? If you feel like giving me feedback, butcher my shirts on my channel called Rose, 11 minutes long. If you want to do it next week, we could do like a live, we could watch it live or something if you're up for that. Just remind me. Send an email on Filmmaker IQ or something like that. All right, later, guys. Roger 7 later. Brad Jack says bye. Bye-bye. All right, that's it. Seriously. I'm going to go and maybe grab a quick bite and then go to the gym. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.